Well, as you heard, it's a staggering situation. The numbers are heartbreaking. 27.5 million people are in need in Sudan. Almost 8 million have been forced to flee their homes. 1.5 million have left the country entirely in search of safety. And it's just really impossible for the United Nations to reach everyone. And they're doing the best they can. The UN also says it's the largest internal displacement crisis in the world. And when you think about all the wars that are going on right now, that's really saying something. And it's a very significant crisis for children. 3 million children in Sudan are displaced. And forget about education, they're not going to school. So they're going to lose a whole generation of kids if they don't wrap this up and let people get back to their lives. Another major concern the UN has right now is malnutrition. 18 million people are acutely food insecure. Nearly 5 million are in that emergency phase. And Mr. Griffiths said the other day that if people cannot plant and harvest, if they can't access food at the markets, and now there's also a locust situation going on in Sudan, he said this could potentially spell a famine for Sudan. So the UN is watching that very, very closely. And also on the healthcare front, if you're not eating, you're more susceptible to disease. Right. And a large portion of the hospitals and health clinics aren't functioning, and people aren't getting medications for things like high blood pressure and diabetes. So, and the World Health Organization said that is killing them.
So, Margaret, given all these dire situations facing the people of Sudan, what does the United Nations deem as priority for the Sudanese people?
Peace. Peace is priority number one, always. A humanitarian response cannot replace peace. And the UN isn't really a player in the peace process because the US, Saudi Arabia, African Union, IGAD, these are the actors that are doing it. The UN has sort of been shut out of it. As you may recall, their envoy in Sudan was made persona non grata several months ago. So it's really up to these external actors to try and bring the two generals to the negotiating table.
Do we have any donors since the announcement yesterday, very briefly?
Well, it wasn't a donors conference. It was just a launch of the appeal. I believe Mr. Griffiths said that the European Union and Finland had made pledges, but they're expecting to do a donors conference in the near future, I think.